What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the pod, Coffee with Dudes. Today, we're going to be running a solo pod. I'm going to go over a little bit of the topic to do with fear, more specifically heading into our work week, how to handle fear. Do you experience fear? And when you do, what are some of the things that you can do to A, not feel like you're alone when you do feel it, but B, how to actually dissect it, think about it, and whether you can actually allow it to take control of you to feel those feelings, right? Those fearful feelings, more so specifically heading into a work week, meaning all the stresses and anxieties that are coming together, formulating usually on a Sunday, right? Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Monday morning. How do we handle those fears? How do we handle those stresses, those anxieties, those worries about, am I going to be able to handle the challenges with work this week? What kind of curveballs am I going to get thrown? Man, last week was rough. I hope this week isn't the same. Like all those worries, all those fears heading into the week, how do we handle them? How do we navigate them? And if you do feel those, just know you're not alone, right? I feel them every once in a while. My mom used to call them or reference them the Sunday scaries, right? Meaning like you have this level of anxiety build up as you're heading into the week. Now, doesn't necessarily mean that every week needs to feel like that, but if you do occasionally feel that, we're going to talk about that. I got some notes here. We'll dissect it. Congratulations, you're not alone. We all feel it. It's human. If you don't feel it, great. Props to you. Awesome. But those of you that do feel exactly what I'm talking about, let's dive into it here. So, fear versus planning. What does that mean? Oftentimes, and this doesn't mean that you necessarily have to have all your ducks in a row, every single thing planned perfectly heading into a week. Does it help? Yeah, absolutely. We used to call it pre-pitch planning in baseball. Think about before the balls hit, the pitcher's getting ready. They're getting ready to deliver the pitch from the windup or the stretch, whatever. But before that pitch is thrown, I need to think about where the runner's on base right now. When I'm on defense, right, I need to think about where the runners, how many outs do we got? What inning are we in? What's the score? Where am I going to react to 3 steps to my left, to my right, in front of me, behind me? Once I have all that predetermined, now I can allow my body to react naturally, be an athlete, and play the game. It's what we used to call as the mechanism to slow the game down. Plan ahead to slow the game down. We could do that same thing when we're heading into our work week. Specifically, those of you that are, you listen to Coffee with Dudes, we talk a lot about health and fitness. So what days are my workouts going to be on? Have I already meal prepped, or at least very bare minimum ordered my groceries, went to the grocery store? Have I planned ahead? Am I picking the kids up at what time? Is somebody dropping them off? Like thinking about those things, whether you're scheduling them, not worrying or stressing over them, but at least having an idea, even if it's just a rough draft heading into the week. So being planned is going to help alleviate a lot of those stressful, anxiety, built up feelings. The next thing is understanding that no amount of worry is going to help, right? We do this all the time leading into the week. We worry like crazy. We anticipate things. We think of these like crazy what if scenarios, the worst case possible. And all that's doing is building up this angst, building up this level of anxiety, building up this uncomfortable feeling that's adding to the pressure that we already feel. And I would encourage you to ask yourself this question, if you are that person, if you are constantly doing that, is how much worry can I do today on Sunday before I head into the week? The amount of worry that I'm getting ready to do or am currently doing, how much of that is actually going to help me? How much of that is actually going to change the outcome? How much of that is actually going to be implemented and affect what's actually going to happen during the week? Very little, if at all, right? So remind yourself of that. I think far too often it steals and robs us of our current state, our present state, our ability to prep and plan ahead, right? Just think of it as like we all have a certain amount of capacity or a certain amount of energy. And are we allowing ourselves to use it towards something that's beneficial for us? Or are we using it to constantly stress and worry and, think of these what ifs and these worst case scenarios, right? Like think about how much energy and thought and capacity we're allowing to bleed out if we're allowing our energy and thoughts to be focused on things that we can't control. So worry really serves no purpose, right? Shift your thinking to what if it goes wrong to what if I can handle it well? This is one that I thought about. Like, I think part of the reason is we anticipate these huge problems, these difficulties, these things that we're going to get thrown curveballs during the week. And it's great to think ahead about those things. But more so, we talk about the approach. We talk about the approach in health and fitness. We talk about the approach in sports. What's the thing that we can control here and now? It's our approach to the thing. It's our response to the thing after it happens. And if we can control our energy in those departments, we no longer have to focus on what the outcome is, good, bad, ugly, and different. Regardless of the event or circumstance that happens, we can control two things: our approach leading up to it, not necessarily the actual outcome, but once the outcome happens, what are we doing to respond to it? So let's control on those two things on the front end and the back end, and let the middle be whatever it's going to be. We can't control that most of the time, right? And so taking that approach is going to allow us to regain our energy, regain our capacity, regain our thought process, regain our ability to plan, and we're going to put ourselves in a much better position. Let's see here. I often have tools to stay grounded. So one thing that you can do that I enjoy doing is brain dump, whether it's in the notes app, like how I have here. You can do it, just on your phone. If you like handwriting it, journaling it, getting it out on paper. If we bottle things up, it creates this level of anxiety that we're already trying to battle and already trying to deal with. And we're creating this huge monster inside of us. Give it an outlet, give it a place to go, use the energy, get it out of you. And that's going to always allow you to be able to set yourself up for success heading into the week. Intentions over to-dos. I'll stay calm, not I'll do everything. So again, more of an approach-driven thing of, okay, when XYZ does happen, if I am going to think of these hypothetical what ifs because they're just populating in my head, now, once I understand what could potentially happen or go wrong, what would I do in those scenarios once it does happen? What kind of person do I want to represent? What version of myself do I want to be? Do I want to be somebody who just operates from chaos, blast out other emails to people who it's not even their job, but I'm asking them a million questions trying to get things done? Or do I want to be cool, calm, and collected, be able to gather myself, be able to bring my thoughts, be able to have a crystal clear mindset so that I can respond to those things that happen? And I'd much rather be that person. I'd much rather be the person that when everything's on fire, I want to be the person that's very deliberate, giving orders, making things happen, and executing, versus the person running around crazy in circles and panicking, right? So think about what kind of person you want to be. And then the closing thought here is you've handled everything in every week up until this point, despite good, bad, ugly, and different, challenging weeks, amazing weeks, up until this point where you're watching this video right now. Remind yourself, you've made it through every single week before. What's going to mean that this is going to be any different this next week that we're leading into? It's no different. Fear can show up, but it doesn't get to lead. That's the last thought I want to leave with you. So short and sweet today. If this was helpful for you, if you experienced the Sunday scaries leading into the week, hopefully this shed some light, gave you some insight. Maybe it was just a reminder, something that you needed to hear. All we ask for you is that you share it with people that you know, like, and love, who you feel like could benefit from this message. If you guys have topics of interest that you want to send our way, that you'd like to hear us share our thoughts about, we're always open to hear from you guys. Comment on our YouTube, send us messages on social media. We're on Spotify, wherever you want to reach us, whatever's easiest platform for you. We're releasing episodes every Tuesday and Thursday every week. So stay tuned, stay tapped in with us, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.